farm's currently flooding and the missus decided to leave me. It's nice, isn't it? Not leave me. She's gone for a jolly around the local temple. So it's still quite early morning. I put it about 7:10. I'm normally up shredding the napier for the goats, but there's no rush this morning because goats don't like the rain. So to get them out would be a big ask. You're never interested, are you, GJ? Eh? All right, it's not squeaking. Oh, here he comes. All right. Oh, drama queen, ain't you, mate? What I thought I'd do is give you a quick tour around the farm and show you what some heavy rainfall does. So the inverter is still turned off, so it doesn't bang. Some of you will know that we're on our third inverter now. No, second inverter, but the previous one was repaired twice. So I've been busy. I've been really busy. So let's have a walk down here. The old bananas are doing quite well. I transplanted a few papayas along the way down here. Right, nice one. All the bananas took. New forest area at the back there, so we've got our napier in there, black sugar cane, gatin with loads of gatin seeds in there, so it's quite hard strimming not to hit the gatin. There's one here next to the banana, so when I see where the stick is I tend to strim round. And I'll show you on the way back. We'll go back a different way, but we've been collecting the seed pods from our gatin that's matured on the farm, finally matured, unlike me, and been spreading all the seeds on this sloping bank. So areas that are really hard to cut grass and trim down, that's where we plan to grow a lot more gatin. We were in here yesterday cutting napier. This was a new area. I was going to trim the rest down this morning. You can see my sticks here ready to pin in elsewhere. Yeah, so it's a little bit moist for the old strimmer. So what we've been doing when we cut the napier down, the weeds that are left and other grasses, we just trim them down. Old Barry Banana, we thought he might be dead. He's reappeared. He featured in a previous video. Doing very well here. The black stuff is biochar and goat muck. Right then, take a look at this. So the first area that I'll show you that I'd planted more napier is here, which is well, it's gone subsurface. Never mind, this will go down pretty quick. I've been putting some gal, or if you're out here, car. So in between each palm here, got 2 gal, and the thing in the middle there is a cutting from the mulberry bush. Song about that, isn't there? I've also been taking cuttings, if you can call it a cutting, of our moringas. So hopefully this standing water isn't going to stay here too long, otherwise they'll rot. It's very soft wood moringa. I have lost these 2 bananas because all the way along here I've been putting 2 bananas and 1 moringa in between each palm. So this was going to be my next shredding area for today as well, and that's where the new napier sticks were going to go. So it's been raining non-stop since about 2 o'clock this morning. Really big storm, electrical storm overhead. Turned the main fuse box off in our bedroom, went out in my shreddies in pouring rain, turning the inverter off. We'd had the original one repaired twice, and we're now on our second inverter, so we could do without that. I think, can't remember how much it was now, but about 13,000, something like that. That gunshot that you heard isn't a gunshot, it's bird scarers, the old parakeets. Right, some of you may have seen our Facebook post on Toon and Leigh Porpeang farm, how high the napier was here before we started cutting. We're gradually getting through it. It's Brilliant. So we've been cutting here for a week. Left the bird of paradise there. You can see the canal is right up now. A lot easier to cut and collect with the road running alongside it. Very happy. So we've got some black sugar cane in here as well. But you can see it's growing very well. As the soil eventually gets covered by the leaves that fall down, it'll get better and better. Thailand, eh? Lovely climate. Makes a change from the old flip-flops. Okay, in here we've been growing Jumbo. Toon's older sister and her husband, they were going to get into farming cows, and well, that didn't transpire, but he'd already bought the seed for Jumbo grass. And when they visited us the other month, they said, oh, do you want the seed? We haven't got anything to do with it now because they grow tapioca. So we're like, alright then, go on then. So we've popped it all in. It's not growing particularly quick. It's probably because it's just growing in subsoil and sand that was excavated out of the canal. But it's growing. You see some morning glory there. I like to pick this morning glory for our crayfish tank, so we know that there's no crabs and snails on it. Round the back here I transplanted some Gatin, a Lucina. Some of them, I think I put 61 in, and I think about a dozen have taken. Pretty poor, but yeah, it stopped raining after I put them all in. Some older Napier in there, and the darker stuff through there is black sugar cane. Our Mim, which are the small honeybees, they're still here. Don't make me a liar. There they are. Oh, I'm wearing a black t-shirt, not great round bees. Check out those busybodies. The bamboo obviously loving this time of year. We've got a video coming up soon. We're going to record it in Thai and English, so I don't want to include any footage of it today. But we've got some strange plants growing in the bamboo forest that we've never ever seen before. And Toon asked one of the local guys that lives near our farm, and he was saying, oh, I haven't seen these since I was a kid. And we think, well, he reckons they're water onions, but I've looked on Google and they look slightly different. So yeah, we're going to get some close-up footage and some stills of them, and we're going to try and track down what they actually are. I flipping well hope they are water onions, because I looked on the internet and they're $18 a pop. Looks all out of control, isn't it? That's because it is. Now at this time of year, where the rainy season's just coming to an end, we try and let everything grow out and go to seed, and that's the what could we say, that's the store for our fodder for the next year. You can see Toon and I have been in there cutting away, but that is it's fairly deep. We have got raised banks in here like swales, so it's not all underwater. Yeah, I mean, although this isn't Napier, they still eat this. The only problem is this sort of thing, you get a lot of the Dan, which are the paper wasps. Last week I must have had about 10 stings in total. Yeah, I was feeling a little bit anaphylactic, if I'm honest. Right, let's go and look at the lake. I bet that's come up a treat. Love it. The guy that we've bought fish off in the past, baby fish, he quite often brings his daughter to come and have a look at the goats and feed the boy goats up at the house when they're in the area selling fish. And he came and I gave him a load of citrus for free, our giant citrus, and he gave us a bag of climbing perch. So I've bunged them in here, Toon's little pond, and now it's rained, they've probably all climbed out. Wow, we are up. I've been doing a hell of a lot of clearing up recently, thanks in part to our recent farm stay Mark, who featured on our last video walking around our local Thai market. And yeah, it's sort of freed me up a little bit to get the strimmer out. Unfortunately, our 4-stroke Honda is no longer with us. She finally passed away, so she went to the recycling man. She couldn't be repaired anymore, and we bought a 2-stroke, which is a little bit noisy and vibrates a lot, but yeah, it's does the job. So where it's quite balanced, where you see the green bit on the left as you look down there, I use the mower on that, and the bit that's brown on the right, that tends to get used for the strimmer, for the uneven ground and the woody stuff. Okay, so you can see the pond's pretty much clear now, and I've been planting away. And the reason we haven't really planted up before is because of the goats. We've now got enough pasture or fodder growing on the land that we don't have to let the goats around here. We would do in an emergency again, but there's nothing growing along here that can't hack a bit of a nibble once it's got going. So yeah, we've got birds of paradise, some galangal, some moringa, we've got some pretty stuff. Can't remember what these are. They look a little bit sad at the moment, but someone will know, some of you will know what it is. The flowers droop down, touch the floor, and then they root. Mother-in-law's tongue. So I've been finally getting to use some of the plants that we'd been keeping in pots and dotted around near the house for years. Now we think, right, we're getting on top of things now, let's start make the place look a bit more, what can we say, a bit more pretty rather than functional. Last bit I need to clear is over the other side there. That grass is pretty tough going. That's the stuff that they make the roofs out of. Bananas are loving this time of year as well. You see I've been planting a lot of moringa again. It's done so well. Where my bucket is here, I've been using this on the days where we haven't had much rain to water around the pond. This is one of our moringas there. It's about 2 years old. Coconuts. Been getting quite a lot of rhino beetle action, so I've started stripping a lot of the dead stuff off down below and heavy mulching. The larvae will go in there for sure, but yeah, anything that's starting to decay, I've tried to get it off the coconut trees, and hopefully we can keep a lid on them. Still not quite finished crayfish pond. Siamese carp and tab tim in here are doing fantastically well, along with the grass carp. The benin, the normal tilapia over there, doing very well, and then we've got the mixed pond over there. Been busy putting some new trees in here as well. Try and get a bit of a canopy up, and then once we get a bit of shade, or a bit more shade than we've got here, then we can start underplanting those. Old sweet tamarind doing very nicely. Behind this tree is going to be the next gatin that we're going to hack down. So you can see the seed pods, they're ready to split open and drop their seed. So rather than just dumping them here and growing baby gatin here, we'd rather grow them where we want them to grow. So that's why we haven't really been harvesting our own gatin up until now. We've wanted to get up nice and high to flower. You can see some flowers there. There's some new ones coming there. To get its seed pods mature, when you start seeing them split, then cut it down, use the seeds and give the rest to the goats. Been heavily cropping the moringas along here as well. It's just really nice to see that you know, finally, after putting trees like moringa in so long ago, they are actually mature trees now, and they look fantastic. In here we've got a basket weaver's nest, and behind it, I don't know if the camera's picking it up in the rain, we've got a huge bee nest up there. So that's why I haven't been brave enough to cut this one down. You see here we've got a big seed pod, huge seed pods on moringas. So Thai people tend not to eat the leaves. I know Toon and I do. You see a nice young fresh leaf there, nice light lime coloured green. Thai people just like the seed pods really, which is, it's a shame. So we eat the tips and the rest go to the goats. They do eat a little bit of the bark. They would eat the seed pods if we gave them to them, but I'm going to collect these and grow some from seed. So we've still got a few here that we can cut down that generate so much wood. New growth, as soon as you cut it, it's bonkers. So unfortunately, because it grows so quick, once we saw the honey in there, we stopped cutting it, and now that's going to be a hell of a job. It's easy to cut, but that's heavy, and if it goes the other way, I'm scared for my raised beds, which are still covered. Waiting for Gerard to come, then we're going to lift the tarps off these and get planting. I'll be in here, all this soft leafed weed underneath here, easy to pull out. Yeah, there is quite a lot of wasps, but it's great food for the goats. These are going to get chopped down next. Spiky tamarind here. This one's a pusa. I've just started to clean it up. I was in here yesterday with the strimmer. Again, we've got the gatins. They're just getting up nice and high now. We've got another one that's finally going to seed here. So it's excellent. You see this one's actually split and dropped its seed already. Ah, you're growing weeds, Toon and Leigh, you numpties. You don't know anything about leukemia, look it up, it's fantastic. Not just for goats, for humans too, and for your land. It's brilliant stuff. Even if you're going to use it for chop and drop, which is fantastic, but if you're going to go down that route, just don't let it go to seed, and then it won't spread. Cleared all in here for the napier. Starting to spring back into life. Bananas, loving this time of year obviously. Oh, we had some real pest issues a few months ago before the rains proper started. Yeah, they were taking a right old hit, and we didn't lose any plants as such, but sometimes we just had to cut the actual plant down and let them regrow. But yeah, they're looking fab now. The diddy one down there. Yeah, this is it's another area to strim for Leigh. You can see here, so we've been chopping off any infected branches. We've been chopping off, which hasn't left many. But the flower seems happy. Another big gatin there. A lot of people would automatically just take this out and poison it. It's all right, cut it off at the stump and poison it. But no, they're very, very valuable plant to us, and while it's in that position, it's feeding nitrogen to the palm there. So the palms look a little bit messy. If we just shoot back up there again, as Toon cuts the napier, we can get to the palms easy, and then just cut down the lower branches, or the ones that are past their best. Got moringa here. It's not very erect, is it? And my last bit to strim around the ponds here. They're cleaning up the bananas as I go. So we don't look at this as weeds. This is all goat food. They love this stuff. See the big leaf climbing weed there, something we call snow hin, which is like a bracken. It's excellent, and this becomes quite waterlogged down here, so once I've cut whatever we want for the goats out of here, just trim the rest down, and it just becomes a thick mulch, and obviously just helps build up the soil as we go along. It's taken a while, but very, very little moon rock left now. It's going to be a while till we can get the boulders covered. Still got to mulch this one. Well, still got to mulch about 9. Let me show you the damage. The old rhino beetle. The next thing I'm going to start looking into, probably today if it keeps on peeing down, is the rhino beetle larvae. And I'd like to look into whether we can actually make it a goer, make it worthwhile for converting our goat manure into the frass and use that as compost. But we've got to be very careful, because if we have an outbreak of rhino beetles, then we'll lose all our palms and our coconuts. So it'll be grow them to a huge size and then feed them to the fish in the lake, but keep enough to keep the system going. So we might look into that, and putting them in totes so they can't escape once they pupate and then hatch out. So yeah, maybe that's something that's but it certainly works, because it's going on under the goat house. There's absolutely hundreds under there, and they definitely eat the goat muck. So yeah, we'll look into that. Another moringa here. I haven't cut it down yet because the seed pods aren't quite mature. Some new bananas coming there. I do like this area. It's probably some of the best soil on our land, apart from in our raised beds. Yeah, look at the banana in here. You can see one gets in here that was cut a while back. So fast growing. So we try and cut them quite high, and then it's easier to walk round them. Can't remember the name of this plant, but we call it the MSG plant. We used to eat it raw, which is not advisable, so we fry it now. Papaya. This just decided to fall down in a storm, and it's regrown, and we've got some new ones forming. This is looking a bit sick, this one. It is a female, but you can see it's gone really skinny from the dry weather. So I'm going to cut this off and do what I've done with the one out the front. But yeah, look at the banana here. Let's get round the other side. Not only are they huge, they're just insanely healthy. Quite a few hands on there as well. You look at the size of the plant. So when we cut the bananas down, we eat them, the goats eat them, the dogs eat them, fish eat them. We'll have all that to slice up. And there's 4 of them. Yeah, I know you're only supposed to keep 2 or 3, but they're happy, and if our bananas are happy, we're happy. Going to keep developing this area here. Now the soil's improved by putting a lot of napier in, we can start planting up. Planted some new napier here not that long ago. That's done well. Got my old cassava. It never gives up. I just leave it to get on with what it wants to do. It just falls down every now and again and re-sprouts. The old noni tree. So if you're suffering from a bit of ED, erectile dysfunction, guys, give us a shout. We'll send you some what they call vomit fruit. Yeah, they're not the nicest smelling fruit. Don't care. Edible flowers on this one, or Velociraptor claw flowers. Snow, edible flowers again. The lime tree that just keeps giving. Insane. I can't keep up with it, and that's just one tree. Bonkers. Right, we've had a storm and I can see some casualties already. I need to get out here without the camera and start picking them up. We need you back here, Mark. Mark was a great help. He was a chief lime squeezer. I was cutting them and removing the seeds, and he was using our new lime squeezer. Yeah, pints and pints of fresh lime juice here on the farm. But not as much juice as in one of these bad boys. These are fantastic. I think we've got about 4 varieties of limes. We've got the giant lemon, and then we've got what I'd call a traditional lemon as well. I think we've got a couple of these trees, so it's nice. A lot of them do fruit at the same time. In fact, some of them do fruit all year as long as they've got enough food and water. So yeah, as we keep the soil covered up, helps to retain moisture in the ground, and we tend to get quite a long season with our citrus, which is fantastic, because although at the minute you can't give them away, in the dry season they do become quite expensive. We do send some to Toon's family that live away from here, and just swallowed a bug. 10 baht a lime apparently. A guava seen better days, but I've pruned it back heavily, so it's coming back stronger, as is my lady's fingers. Got quite a lot of this growing. It did all get trimmed because it was like a jungle out here. Not quite finished the mango pruning, but we'll get there. I do like to do all the pruning in one day for a particular tree, but we use our prunings for feeding the goats. They love mangoes, but they can't have too much. So when the mango tree's about that size, or that size, the goats can only really have half in one go, otherwise it gives them the trots. Cashew tree here, totally neglected, but we get nuts every year off it. Again, we've got Lucina everywhere, supporting the ecosystem down below. But these we do cut them off nice and short. You see there's a load of goat muck there. That's why they've started growing. Sometimes you get a tin seed in the goat jelly beans, but we'll cut them off low. They'll come back, but it's a free convenient food for the goats. Guava, not looking great either. It's just starting to flower. I do like guava, but it's not one of my favourites, so not really a priority for me. Oh, nearly forgot. Got a special banana to show you. Now, it's a special one, this. Oh no! These are red bananas, or it's a red banana plant. It's looking pretty tip-top. I put it down to my homemade liquid fertiliser feed. Soursop or custard apple. Been a bit disappointing this year, but I didn't prune it, so I've only got myself to blame. Can't moan, can we? Lime leaf, we do struggle with these, I'll be honest with you. Oh, see a couple of red ant nests up there. The only time that we've had them looking absolutely buff was when I used to mix up my own DIY organic spray, but I try not to use, well, I haven't used that for about 18 months, 24 months now, and they do suffer, which is a shame, but I don't want to go down the route of spraying, because obviously it kills the good bugs as well as the bad bugs. So we got 3 of those, and currently they're all looking a bit iffy. I did a video way back in the day when I used to spray everything with my mix, and that bug just will not go down. So it's vegetable oil and a little bit of washing up liquid. You can add things like chili powder to it as well, garlic, that sort of stuff, and boil it up and add that. But yeah, it lasts about 2 weeks, and everything sort of responded very, very well to it. So it is effective. But like I say, you know, you've got your predatory bits and bobs that are on the trees as well. So I don't want to wipe out those. And it's only last year that we started to get all the hoverflies in. So it's obviously working, not spraying anything. It's all right. We can still get some good ones here. Not lying. You know, one of Toon's plants here, totally neglected by her. If it wasn't for me, we wouldn't be here anymore. Another don't care. Apparently this is an ornamental mango. Can't see the point of it, but Toon said she wanted it. Another just random tree. And then we've got some sour fruit. What we got? I know this one's Miyom, and I'm not sure about that one. But the leaves and the fruits are edible. Got another cashew tree doing well there, and another one there. Hacked to bits my bougainvillea. Spiky, horrible thing, but the flowers are just insanely beautiful. So what I'm trying to do is make it easy for me to walk around and clean round a lot of our trees, but try and get a canopy up. And I don't know, I just started to come up with maybe an idea of a design for like a tunnel, like a walk through to the house there, and grow stuff over the top. I don't know, like passion fruit or something like that. My raised beds, we're due to get the boys back, first time for ages, and although they're super productive, check out my turmeric. Hey, that'll give you a twitch, isn't it? Amazing stuff. This needs obviously weeding. This is not my OCD bed, but this is not a weed. We've got asparagus. Yeah, so down here, always nasty and full of ants and snakes from time to time. So when we drain the crayfish tanks here, it's not a particularly nice place to stand and work. So we're going to concrete path down here and turn that into a concrete path through there. And then I'd like to develop this area because it's so close to the house, and to have it this dirt is not great. There's a few plants in here that need to come out, but I'm thinking another raised bed, probably square rather than a rectangle, and maybe go up 2 or 3 blocks instead of 1, because my back is showing signs of wear and tear, shall we say. You got to remember, I am considerably older than I look. Can't remember what this one is, but it's quite pretty. Oh, that's not looking good, is it? Oh, desert rose or desert flower, I don't know. The rose, which was not supposed to be a climber, clearly thinks it is. After Toon lived in the UK with me for 8 years, she's crazy about roses, so anytime she sees one in the market, and well, you know what it's like, guys, isn't it? Sort of like give you that squeaky voice. And honey, I do like this plant. Don't know what it is. My mum will know, she'll be here soon. As with this, I just pruned this back. It's quite pretty little flowers. No idea what it is. I think Mum said the leaves on this one are poisonous. Another one of Starling's roses. You see, she gets me to buy these and never takes care of them. That was one of our bargains that we saved. That was almost at death's door. I think we got it as a freebie in the end. I think the woman felt sorry for us and couldn't charge us, so we took it. Revived it with my biocharged compost. The old rabbit firetail, or whatever you call them. That's happy. That was nearly dead in a pot. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you the lowest papaya tree in all of Thailand. Every time I walk past it, I just get this saying in my head, how low can you go? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's working. I didn't intentionally grow it like this. I'm not that much of a numpty. It's just that the trunk was starting to rot, so I cut it off and I put a flower pot over it with a plastic bag underneath, but it sweated and so it rotted again. So I thought I'm just going to plant something next to it and let it die. And then I did this. Just put coconut shell there. It's only gone and worked, isn't it? I might do that to all of them. I think it's quite hard to get the mow around. Mulberry, hacked right back. You might think that's a little bit brutal. But in a minute I'm going to go and show you the one that I pruned 2 weeks ago. You won't believe it. Well, you might, because you'll see it. Right, let's have a look over here. It's a new area. So the woman who was closing her plant nursery down, she had a load of these modified tyres. So we prepped them with our compost and biochar underneath, some leaf mould in there, and some goat manure as sort of like a top dressing. And this is all finger root. We do eat a lot of finger root. If you can preserve it in the dry season, then it sells very well. So the thought behind growing them in ties is that they're easy to collect, and in the dry season, when this becomes a quite expensive herb, we know where they are, because all this top foliage dies back in the dry season. So yeah, I reckon it's going to work a treat, that is. There's another one of those ornamental mangoes. What's the point of an ornamental? I don't get it. What's the point of an ornamental mango that doesn't have mangoes? It's like having decaffeinated coffee, isn't it? Pointless. No idea what that is. Toon wanted it. No idea what this is. Yeah, we've probably got too much leukemia in here, but the reason I haven't cut them is because, although I'm incredibly strong, I can just pull these out. So I'm going to go and pin them in around the crayfish pond. Right, give a look at our best wild chilies. Ratpoo chilies, Pikinu. Check out these little bad boys. I really need to stop being lazy and come out and start picking them, don't I? They're a fantastic chilli. These are one of my favourites. It's not just that one. Look at this one. This is even more loaded. For some reason, they like the conditions underneath the canopy here. I don't know whether it's because of all the leaf mould, all the rotting wood in there. I have no idea. Still plenty of plants to move on elsewhere. All our pregnant crayfish tanks full. Ah, that reminds me, we had one that hatched out the other day, so we've got to get them moved in the next week or so. Had a bit of a change round in here because we had quite a, well, we had too many crayfish that were buried up, so we took the remaining adults out of here and we left thousands of baby crayfish in here. Can never have too many yabbies. Right, the mulberry. When you first look at it, you just think, oh, it's just leaves. But look, It's absolutely loaded with fruit. Yeah, I think it's about 2 weeks since I cut it. Love mulberries. I think, I might be wrong, I think the classed as a superfruit. All this area is going to get developed. So, can't remember the names of this, but it's in Thai, Leigh, Lower D. We're going to dig these out, move them away. They're way too big to grow here. And I think this is going to be our kitchen herb garden. So chilies, basils, all that sort of stuff. We've got gallon, finger root everywhere else. So yeah, I think all the different types of basils and lemongrass, that sort of stuff. Same with this side as well. Most of the work's been done, but it's been neglected a little bit. I did have all my Beijing grass in here. Toon's got a lot of wild stuff growing in here. Along with the statutory weeds. Yeah, it's considering it's right next to the house, we need to get on top of this and design it in such a way that it's easier to maintain. I've never liked coming out here at night when Toon says, oh, can you go and get me some galangal? I'm thinking here a shelving system for something I've got over here, and I have to thank Uncle Marky, flaming Uncle Mark. He's Australian, but I tell you what, he's all right. He sent us some worms, didn't he? So he did say he was going to send me a video on how we should set up the box, and he didn't. So I then had to do my homework and create my own worm farm. So there's supposed to be 1,000 worms in there. Well, eggs. They haven't hatched yet. We haven't spotted any worms, so we'll see how it goes. Vermicompost, here we come. Take 2. I did do a worm tank several years ago underneath where the chickens used to roost when we had poultry, and then I left the roost off, and yeah, so we're growing them again. Disastrous with the garlic chives, guys. Can't pick them apart from eating them fresh. Not enough sun to make Toon's garlic chive dong. Never mind, can't do everything, can we? Another Velociraptor flower tree. Beautiful. We've got another 2 trees which give pink flowers. We bought this one on the understanding from the seller that they were a dark purple flower, or is it dark red? I don't know. The one colour we haven't got. They must have been mistaken. It's white. Been hacking all the stinky vegetable down here. What is it, Leigh? Ah, oh, my memory getting bad, you know. Cha-om, spiky stuff. Just eat the ends of it. The reason this bit hasn't been cut down yet was because we're letting the wild mallat, that climbing thing, we're letting that go to seed and drop down. I'm not a fan of either really, but hey ho. And that brings us back round to where we began. This banana tree is the only one that remains. When we first moved here, I planted about 20 bananas all the way along here, maybe more than 20 bananas. Just dug a big hole and filled them with compost and bunged them in there, but it's the soil's too hard here. Oh, you plonker, Rodney. This is why I can never find my tools. I need an assistant. But this one I didn't give up hope on, and it's doing all right because of my rough mulch. It's had more mulch than any other banana known to man, and I mean, you look and see there's not a lot of fruit on it, but yeah, while it keeps trying, we'll keep it here. It's looking healthy enough, but they do struggle on the soil in the drier months, but it's still sending up new ones. They'll do a lot better down there. That's not subsoil. Our compost hot water shower is just about spent. So it looks like we could be in the market for a new delivery of cassava skins and start it again. Or I might just use what we've got available on our doorstep. Don't know. Maybe just greens and manure and biochar. This area here, I generally use my mower. Unfortunately, it's been out of action. I've got a fuel leak, and Toon's got the repair bit yesterday, so I'm going to tweak that today and get it back into action. So I normally use that round here because it's quite good. Certainly over there is really good grass. The boy goats love it, so the boys are still in here. And I generally use the strimmer in here. But once I've strimmed and I can see the they get in and clear around them, once these get tall enough, then they can take care of themselves. Still not sure whether to take all the eucalyptus out. Right, so if you'd like to come on a farm stay and help us clear all in here, that would be much appreciated. So it's a labour of love, shall we say. Oh, I can't get me brolly through here, can I? You can see we've got enough food for the goats. Just look how dense it is. They wouldn't eat all of this, to be fair, but there's a lot of napier, black sugar cane in there. They eat these weeds. There's only, where is it? Here it is, look. This one they don't eat. Just about everything else they consume readily. So I'll just come in with the strimmer or the big scythe and make a big pile and then throw it over. Been a bit too wet to do another biochar burn. Jared's going to be happy with his compost pile. That's broken down beautifully now. So I did keep it going. I kept on putting a lot of the spent fodder on there. That'd be great to use for topping up our vegetable raised beds. Oh no! No, she's going to kill me. Mum's the word, eh? Yeah. If you like strimming, you like Thailand, give us a shout. I can't put it off any longer. I've got to go and start the shredding. I was hoping that it was going to stop raining and then I'd be able to let the goats out and feed them, but once it gets to about 8:30 or so, then just got to bite the bullet and do it in the rain. Never mind. All part and parcel of farm life, eh? I quite enjoyed the walk around. I don't know about you. It actually gives me an opportunity to just take in the progress since the last update. Because you're still watching, you obviously like it, so if you'd like to hit the like button, that'd be much appreciated. And if you've not subscribed, the subscribe button is just down below. Have a lovely day, guys. Stay safe. And unlike me, stay dry. Oh God, forgot to let you out, didn't I? Sorry, girl. Sorry, girl. Oh no, let's go, let's go, let's go. Beebo, Beebo, Beebo. Don't you dump there. Beebo, Beebo, no. Oh, Pee-Pee, you're all right.